Hello. Welcome to Handmade by Julia Quinn. It's my turn in our fantastic stamp camp this weekend. And I'm showing you first my fun fold, which is, I'm not exactly sure what it's called. It's some sort of double gate fold, but on a smaller version than the ones that are in this orientation. Excuse me, I have to chuckle. I was chatting to Jan and Tracy this morning about how cold it was this morning here, and I've just discovered it's an absolutely magnificent day, and we're supposed to get to 24, and both of them are not going to get above 10. My goodness. So I'm very glad to be here in Queensland. But this is my card, but I am going to show it to you in a different colorway because this card is totally dependent upon the urn I chose from our designer series paper on the inside. Now, I do love green, which is why Old Olive was my first choice. But this time for this card, I have chosen out of my designer paper this urn, which meant that I chose the Misty Moonlight cardstock to go with it. As always, all of the measurements for everything are in the tutorial, and I have done some things prior to coming on to present for you today. This, I think, is one of my favorite effects, is I have die cut the gold foil using the large urn and the small vase, and then put the die cuts into the embossing folder, the joined together embossing folder. And I was able to do both of them at the same time and just sort of chose where I wanted them to go to get the fault lines in the vases. I think it looks so, foil always looks amazing when it's embossed, but I love the effect of those two. So that's a very easy way to have gorgeous vases really quickly. Okay, so there's my 3 vases for my project. Yes, it is a stunning day up here on the Sunshine Coast. We are very, very blessed indeed. Now, when I've cut out my cards, my designer series paper for this card, you can see I've sort of tried to keep it all in the same orientation. Now, they all go together, so hopefully when I put it together on the card, they will all match up if I remember which way I put them. I'm just going to, first of all, stick all these pieces onto my Misty Moonlight cardstock one by one and just put them strategically on each side so that I know where they go. Oh, and I knew that was going to happen. So I prepared for it and got a refill ready. I didn't realise I'd only get one go, though. I am not as confident as Jan and Tracy at using our glue, so I have to stick with the old seal. I do a better job of not getting myself covered in glue with this stuff. Okay, there's the second one. So this is an easy part of the card, is just layering up the designer series paper onto the backing. Here we go. And put you over that side, and then the last one. There. Okay, now for the mechanics of putting the card together. Now the card actually has just a basic, this is your basic card front size, and then this bit here creates the little gatefold in the middle. So I've already pre-scored it, and in your tutorial will be all the measurements so that you know exactly how you're folding and scoring. And when you fold along those score lines, you fold in a double gate like that. And I'll just get my bone folder and burnish all those edges to make it easier to handle so it's not quite so bouncy. Okay, and then these ones in here. Okay, rightio, so that's the basic card there. While I've got this here, I actually might just put these 2 on straight off because that's where they go. 1, 2. might just pop you out so I can see what I'm doing here. It's a bit hard to see with the white, to see where the lines are. I've got a little bit of a border all the way around. Okay, pop those ones on each side. And then on the inside, I'm going to have these two. And I've got no stamping on this, so I can pop these two straight on the inside straight away. But if you're stamping or doing anything special on the inside, I would stamp this first before you stick it inside the card, just in case you need to stamp it again on the other side. Okay, and then line that up there. Okay, now this bit here gets layered right around the center of your card base here. Okay, just going to put adhesive all around there. Now, just going to sort of line myself up here on my grid mat so I can sort of see where center is. Center is about there. And just, I'm eyeballing this. I'm not measuring it by any stretch of the imagination. And just lining that up. And then I'll put each of these on each of the outside edges, outside our gatefold. Okay, so that goes right there. That one. And then that one I've put over this side goes right outside there. Okay. Obviously I need to get a new blade for my trimmer. It's a little bit hairy on the edges of my... There we go. So there's your basic... Doesn't that look lovely? I love the Misty Moonlight. It's almost as gorgeous as the old olive. Pop that there. And then that folds out. And now it's just up to embellishment. So I didn't do much stamping on this actual card. The only thing I've stamped is the greeting. There is beauty in your history, which is the same one that Jan did on her beautiful card. But actually I might do You Inspire Me, maybe. Or There is Beauty in Your History. No, I might do You Inspire Me this time, something different. And I've got my Misty Moonlight ink to go with the Misty Moonlight cardstock. And then stamping that right there. And then to create, so this fits inside this die cut piece, but I want the ends to look the same. So I'm just going to line that up and then move it along a bit. So this is just all basic guesswork really. And using the line of the edge of the... Now you could die cut this as well if you were more skilled than I, but I'm just going to use the edge of my die cut as my template to cut each end there. Okay, let's see how this looks when we put this together. All right, and then pop that inside like that. No, I need to make that a little bit shorter. So do you again. Whoops. Hold it tight. And I don't want to chop off any of the Misty Moonlight, so just making sure I just go close to the edge, not on the edge, and then line it up like that. Okay, so that's just giving it that lovely border. Okay, so the back of this one, put my adhesive and stick that one in the center like that. All right, and then I'm going to use my dimensionals only on this side. I don't want to put any on this side because I don't want to stick the card together, so I'm going to flip that over about where I'm going to be so I know exactly where to put my dimensionals. Okay, put those two there and flip you over. And then my pots, this one first, a couple of dimensionals on you, 1, 2, 3. We're looking forward to seeing your versions of our cards. So when you make our cards, be sure to pop your photos into our group here. We'd love to see them. And once again, this one overlaps that edge there, so I don't want any dimensionals on that edge, so I'm flipping that over and just putting dimensionals on that side of my finger and pop you there. Okay, so there's my card, and inside our true inspiration, our beautiful urn inside the card. And I haven't actually added any other embellishments on this card because I thought the beautiful gold foil, and I love overlapping images like that, I thought the beautiful gold foil did all of the embellishment needed. So there you go. There's two versions of the same card, just changing up the cardstock and ink. All right, that gives you, white and gold gives you versatility to add any colour. So imagine that in a bright red or a lovely, even gold. If you had lots of gold, would look really nice. Thanks for joining me. Be back in about, what's the time now? In about 15 minutes, and Tracy will be with you to show you her card. See you soon. Bye.